back here with head coach Debra Clark, filling in for Joe Cook, who's on Christmas vacation.
All right.
Coach, it's kind of quiet in the gym right now.
Yeah, a little different.
Is it when you have a break like this, and the kids, and not just a break, you had a break before when there was finals, but now they're actually gone. You're not going to even see them for a week or so. Does that give you a chance to kind of really just evaluate where the team is so far this season?
Well, absolutely. We'll get a chance to sit down and just look at some film and see where we are, kind of talk. We had a meeting this morning to talk about our progress and see how we are. And it's good. I mean, right now where we are, 5-3, my prediction at this point was 4-4, so I'm real happy with where we are now with such a young team and the fact that we have so many things to improve, still have a winning record. I'm real happy at this point.
What when you don't have players here, you gave them workouts and stuff. They go into wherever they go home and do some stuff while they're gone. They'll be gone for pretty much a week or so. Is that kind of, can that inhibit or not inhibit a team? But does that say all the momentum you're kind of building, as far as practices every day, almost every day, games? How do you overcome that?
Well, it's tough. I mean, I think it's good and bad because the fact that they are away, but then again, sometimes you do need a break to break the monotony. Everybody have a change of scenery, get home to see their families and all. But we talked about, before we left, about all the things that we have accomplished. If we go home and don't do anything, we don't want to come back starting from square one.
Yeah.
So I think the young ladies, they are dedicated and they're committed. So I trust they're going to go home and do what they have to do, and then we come back. We'll have a couple of days to get before George Mason.
So it gives them an opportunity, like you said, just to get refreshed, and it's not basketball, but well, it is still basketball for them. They're still practicing.
Right.
It's not intense practices every day. They can kind of just sit back, eat some mom's home cooking, and come back.
Exactly.
Ready to go
And
again.
I just think the change in scenery will do everybody some good. So I'm looking forward to them coming back, though.
Especially because once they come back, you got George Mason. You're at George Mason on 29th. You're here against Savannah State on Sunday the 2nd.
Right.
And then after that, it's MEAC
It's
season.
league time, right.
And that's it. It goes from there all the way
And
to
I'm
the
real
tournament.
excited about the league because with this team, I really, really want to see where we stand in the league.
Yeah.
I thought our outing against A&T was a good indication. I felt good that we played well for a half with them. And that was encouraging because they are very, very good and we're very, very young. So I'm just real excited about getting into the league. And I think some of these games that we've won and we played before league play has built some confidence, built some character in our girls, 2 overtime wins. And so I'm really excited about getting to league play.
And speaking of the A&T game, we haven't talked since that A&T game. You guys played them well in the first half, had a 2-point lead, but then they started really going in the second half. They're getting a lot of drives to the basket. Talk about the difficulty when you have a young team or a team, 6 of the 12 players never played with each other before this year. Talk about how difficult it is to build, for a team to build, to play consistently like that, where you have one good half or one bad half. How tough is it?
And right now, our youth is really coming out because you look at every box score. I mean, Whitney Long's probably the only one that's had 2 good games back-to-back thus far. Usually it's somebody going to step up, but from a coach's perspective, you really want to know, your starting 5 are going to give you, they're supposed to give you, your first 2-3 subs are going to come in and contribute. Sometimes we're, reaching to trying to see who's going to play tonight. And I think a lot of it has to do with our youth.
Does that also have to do maybe with just not knowing each other?
It's true. They're not, like I said, the returning players and the new players all coming together. Very rarely are they all on the court at the same time. So there are a lot of different combinations we're trying to figure out. People are trying to find out each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think as time goes on, we're finding that out better. Rika's doing a good job of getting the ball to people where they can be successful. Ray is doing that as well. Whitney's getting out on the break where she's successful. People are finding Whitney for the open shots. So little by little, we're making progress.
Yeah, Sarah Daly said after the win over McNeese State, she said it's just a matter of knowing each other's tendencies. Where she mentioned with Batavia Owens, where Owens knows that she likes to drive. That Sarah said she likes to drive the basket, so Batavia knows, okay, this is what I need to do.
Exactly.
She gets the ball in her hands because she may go in this way or that way.
Right.
So
it just takes some time. People on the floor together. And speaking of Batavia, our biggest thing right now is to keep her on the floor.
Yeah.
So we keep her on the floor, you know, we're a whole lot better because of her physical presence. She's a great rebounder. Once she gets the ball on the block, I mean, she causes people problems. So we just have to work hard at keeping her on the floor.
You can tell sometimes she gets frustrated there, but the game against McNeese State, she sank those 2 free throws
she
there.
did. She
6
had
points in the
outstanding
overtime. Yep.
So we were teasing her in the locker room. We said, okay, Barteb, we just get you to the overtime and you take over.
Yeah.
So that was a good confidence builder for her because she's so hard on herself.
Yeah.
And when things don't go away, she has a tendency to try to hang her head a little bit. But for her to make those 2 free throws and to come out and give us that scoring output in overtime, that's a big plus.
I say because then the other big girl you got up there, Carlin Chambers, made those 2 free throws in overtime win against Central Arkansas.
She was 0 for 40 last Saturday, but that's okay. Everybody did their part when they needed to.
Yes, I made your last 10 free throws of the game.
That's right. And that was kind of ironic because the way the game was going, we weren't shooting free throws well at all.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. You know, these young people, they do what they have to do to win. That showed a lot of character. I mean, they could have easily given up and hung their heads and everything, but everybody continued to fight and score. And Whitney made the free throws down the stretch, which just good group to be around.
Yeah, like I said, these are the kind of games, early in the season, you get these. You can pull off a win like this, especially after you guys had the lead for so long. I think you had up to about 11
points, yes.
And then they came back and they had the lead. So it's one of those, you could have just given in. The girls didn't give up. They battled back.
Exactly. They fought. And we told them it's a game of runs. Whoever has the last run's going to win. And unfortunately, we did in the overtime.
Yeah, and that's the kind of game that you can really build off, especially when you get into the MEAC season and see where you are. It's like, hey, if we're down by, say, 6 points, 7 points, and you're at a hostile crowd, hey, we've done this before.
That's right. That's right. We've won on the road. We've won in overtime. So we've done a little bit of everything. So really looking forward to the conference season.
So now that you got George Mason coming up and then Savannah State, what are you kind of looking at? I don't want to say areas the team needs to improve upon, but what are the keys to get at least a couple more wins?
Well,
here?
I think right now, our defense, and I thought we did fairly decent against McNeese State because they were averaging 75 points. We held for 70 in overtime, so that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was we were averaging 63, so we got more points than we averaged, which is a good thing. But I think if our defense is consistent and our rebounding. I mean, the first half I thought we were down rebounding. We got together and out rebounded every game. So those are 2 things we've really been concentrating on. And then finally, turnovers. We have to take better care of the ball.
Yeah.
We're averaging like 21 turnovers. That's not going to be good for the long haul. So we really have to do a better job of valuing every possession.
Yeah, McNeese only had about, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 12 or 13, so you're able to even overcome that. And rebounding, you guys have actually had at least 40 rebounds in all but 1 game so far this year. So your rebounding
right. So we got rebounded them by 4, and they shot 71 from the free throw line. So we overcame a lot to win the game, which is a testament to the girls, the hardworking character.
Yeah, and you guys are still first in the MEAC in rebounding margins. So, I mean, obviously it's tough to tell early on in the season who plays who. And
exactly.
It's got to be good. You can see the signs are there that, hey, this isn't last year's team.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because we did not rebound many people at all last year. So far we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, so well, like I said, the Spartans will be at George Mason on the 29th, and then they're going to be here at Eccles Hall on Sunday, January 2nd. So take the lampshade off your head from the first and come on out, cheer on your Spartans. And as always, for everything on NSU athletics and NSU women's basketball, visit NSUSpartans.com.